Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
In the misty morning. Right, there's more of that coming later, but for now, it's Metal Matt back again with my show here on Metal Stream Radio. Very exciting. I'm here every week, Friday and Saturday, 6 p.m. That's UK time, but you can tune in anywhere around the world as long as you align the times correctly, should I say. And, it's 6 p.m. UK, but wherever you are, it's also going to be going. So tune in. It's for everyone around the world who loves heavy metal. This is the place to be on a Friday and Saturday because I'm playing loads of heavy metal. I'm telling you rock and roll stories. I'm a metal singer myself, Metal Matt, given my name by Rob Halford, the metal god. So I wear that as a badge of honor. And, I do lots of original music, which is pretty heavy, and I do covers and stuff as well, and a real mixture of stuff. But also, I love heavy metal, and I play lots of Priest, lots of Sabbath, lots of Dio, and a real mixture. I'm really into the classic metal myself, but we do branch out here on Metal Stream Radio because it's all about every kind of metal. So we play some new stuff sometimes, and some black metal and different genres. So yeah, it's a fun place to be. Be sure to tune in every week because there's not many stations where you can just come and enjoy the heavy metal all together. Usually this pop music. Can't be doing with that, can you? Popular music. Not for me, I don't think. I prefer my heavy metal. So today, I've got lots of cool stories. First off, I'm going to start with a little story because that's what you're here for. You want a bit of a story, don't you? I know I do. Well, I saw Tim Ripper Owens. I'm living out in Cancun, which isn't really a heavy metal place. It's more like a beach kind of vibe, reggaeton, all that kind of stuff. But I always look out to see if any heavy metal is coming to this direction, of course. As Metal Matt, my radar is always, looking out to see what's coming. And luckily, Ripper Owens actually did a whole load of local dates. He did the Yucatan Peninsula, I believe. It's pretty much where his tour was. He did Merida. He did Pueblo, which is a little bit out, actually. He did quite a good part of Mexico, Mexico City. That kind of way, and as well as the kind of Yucatan Peninsula and Playa del Carmen and stuff like that. So yeah, a real kind of mixture. So he brought his heavy metal here to Mexico, which is great because if you don't know much about Ripper, he had a pretty cool lucky break. He was in a tribute band originally as a young guy, and it was a Judas Priest tribute band. And when Rob Halford left Judas Priest to do his other projects like Fight and Halford and all that stuff, Ripper was actually spotted by, I think it was something about a videotape. There was a tape of him and they didn't believe it could be him singing. They're like, oh, they must have overdubbed that, surely. So I think he met up with them in Wales or something, and then they flew him over kind of thing from America because he's an American guy. And obviously, Judas Priest, primarily a British band, with the exception of Scott Travis, who joined in the Painkiller era and around the 90s. In fact, he hadn't been in the band long at this point, and I think it was Scott who actually spotted Ripper and showed it to the rest of the band, the tapes, and yeah, it all went from there. And Ripper got his lucky break singing with Judas Priest for I think 10 years or something. He released 2 albums, or maybe 3 with live albums, or maybe more, because I think he may have done a couple of live albums, but the main 2 albums were Jugulator. It's a good song, really good song. If you haven't heard much of it, because I know there's a lot of people who don't really want to go away from Rob Halford, including myself. It took me a long time to listen to this stuff because I was like, oh, Rob's the voice of Priest, kind of thing. But if you have an open mind and you just listen to it for what it is, it doesn't have to be a comparison thing. It's a good album with some good songs. I was listening to it the other day, and particularly from hearing Ripper perform Jugulator live with that scream, Jugulator! Kind of really screams it out on Jugulator. I thought, cool, that is a killer song. And I heard it years ago when I saw Ripper, but I also heard it when I saw him the other day, which I'm getting to. I'm just giving you a lead up to this story. But basically fantastic songs. Jugulator, the opening track, particularly good. And he did this other album, Demolition, as well, and a live album. I think it was live in London, which was very cool. And there's a bit of a darker sound with Ripper. I think they down-tune the guitars a little bit and stuff, and they make it a bit more, a bit more of a heavy, kind of modern, heavy sound, which was a kind of different thing to what they did with Rob, and that kind of added a different dimension. But Ripper had the screams, he's a powerhouse of a voice, or vocalist is how I describe him. He's very powerful screams and very metal. He's kind of the definition of a heavy metal singer. And I love Rob because his voice is so versatile and he can do so many things. And you could be like, oh, Rob could do opera, or he could do, trying to think of other genres, pop, if he wanted to. But Ripper, I kind of think like, no, he's just made for heavy metal. So, they both got sides to them where it's like, it's to appreciate. I think it's good just to appreciate singers for what they are. Because, Ripper is very definitively classic heavy metal style vocalist, and he's very powerful. He's got that real grit and darkness to his voice, and he sort of offers something different to what Rob offered, but you've still got those good screams as well. And Judas Priest, best band in the world in my opinion, so anything they've done I think is worth listening to. I think those albums aren't easy to get though. I think they've kind of made it hard to get that Ripper era, which is very strange because it did happen. It's like Black Sabbath no longer doing the Heaven and Hell album, because Dio was on it or whatever. It's like, that's very strange. I don't know the ins and outs of why that is. It may not be anything personal. It may be just the way those albums maybe were released. I don't know, different labels, or could be anything. But for some reason those albums aren't accessible. I think you can get them on, various online stores, individuals selling it kind of thing, but they're not out there. You don't go into the shop and see Demolition and Jugulator there looking at you in the heavy metal section, unfortunately. But the songs are out there, and I'm going to play some in a little bit, so it'll give you a taste of that Ripper era. But to talk about my experience here in Cancun, I went out to the gig with my wife. It's her first heavy metal show, which is fun, because she's you might hear that in the background. There's always a bit of Spanish now. I don't know what they're saying, but they're always selling stuff. There you go. It's all about the pesos. Jumbo or something. Dollar. What was it? Something dollar. Jumbo. Something pesos. I don't know, but anyway, they're always selling stuff, so you might hear a few things like that going by. But anyway, back to my story. So my wife's first heavy metal show, it was at McCarthy's, an Irish pub, so I kind of felt at home, being kind of half Irish or something. But I'm British, but I got a lot of Irish family, and I love Dublin. I've been there a few times, and nice to have a McCarthy's Irish pub out here in Cancun. It had the vibe for sure, and they sold Guinness and they sold Delirium, my favourite Belgian beer. So that's no endorsements there. It just is my favourite. I like the strong Belgian beer, but there's also other Belgian beers which are very good. But that is one they sell here, and it's very limited with what they sell here. So I was happy to get to an Irish pub and see Tim Ripper Owens, who's also sang with bands like Iced Earth, and even on my song. He's even sang on my song as a guest, Razor Edge, and another song, Cyber War, where he let me use his vocals again in a different way. But Razor Edge was the main song that he came and did a little guest spot on, which was very fun. It's kind of a classic rock song. Great to have him on there. I might play that one later in the show as well. We got a lot to play today. But the fun thing was being my wife's first heavy metal show. She's seen me perform and stuff out here, but it's her first time, as an audience, with no kind of connection to anything, just to come and see the music. And she's heard a lot of me playing Judas Priest, obviously, all the time here at home, but her dad's into Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and stuff like that, so she knows the kind of thing, but she's not a metalhead as such. But she puts up with me, and that's all I can ask for. But no, I think she's starting to get into it. She definitely likes certain stuff I play. She's like, yeah, I like that one. And she really enjoyed the Ripper show. And Ripper was more than accommodating, because we kind of know each other now. We've met each other a lot of times. I've seen him at different shows. Usually it's just a fleeting kind of meeting. But the last time I saw him before this was with KK Dunn, and we had a drink after the show with KK's Priest. They did a show in Birmingham, and we met at the hotel after KK invited us for a drink, me and my friend, and Ripper was there with his friends, and we all kind of hung out, and I think that kind of made us a bit more firmer kind of associates. So this time when I saw Ripper, he was very, very friendly and glad to see me, and he was saying to my wife, he was saying, the last time we saw each other, he was saying he's going out to Mexico and all that, and here he is, kind of thing. Because it's one thing telling someone you're going out to Mexico and getting married, because that was the situation at that time, to actually coming out here and meeting my wife here in Mexico is a fun thing, which I didn't think would happen. That was pretty cool. But it's good. Ripper is quite open for tour dates. He goes to all these different countries, and as long as they book him in, he's there, kind of thing. Which I really like that. He's got a good work ethic, and he works hard at his craft, and he has different bands. He had like a Mexican band with him, which is very cool. He kind of gets into the zone of what the situation is. Whatever country he's in, he usually embraces musicians from that place and gives them a chance to shine and work with him, which I'm sure keeps it fresh and exciting. And it was amazing. Talking about the show, it was fantastic. Really, really good show. I remember during one of the songs, I can't remember, I thought it was Electric Eye, on the high note, he was looking at me, because he knows I'm a screamer too. I love screaming, hitting high notes. He was kind of like pointing at me, going, can you do this as well, kind of thing, like wanted me to sing with him. He was like pointing at me to sort of scream with him on the certain part of the song, so that was fun. And before the show, when we sat down, we were just sat at a table, me and my wife, and then I looked over and Ripper actually came up, Tim Ripper Owens. Tim came up to say hello to me and my wife, and that was really nice before the show. And then after the show, he invited us backstage as well. He got someone to come and get us and bring us back for a chat and stuff. And there was this other guy, Adam Bomb, which is he's a guitar player, I believe. I think he sings as well, but he either lives out here in Cancun or he's here some of the time. But he's a performer who has played with some big bands in the 80s. I can't remember what exactly. It's not my kind of area. I don't think. It's a bit more maybe New York kind of stuff, and bit more hair metal, glam kind of thing. Not the sort of stuff I listen to too much, but he was in some well-known bands, so give him a look up. But he was there with his little dog Pippa, and she was a lovely little dog. And he told some story about her. I think she peed on I don't know if it was Robert Plant or Jimmy Page or someone like that. Peed on something, maybe their leg or something. I don't know. He told some funny story that the dog did something. But yeah, it was a lovely little dog, little kind of poodle type thing. It was funny. The dog was there in the venue with him, and we were backstage with Ripper with Adam Bomb and his dog, and just chatting away. But before that, it was nice when it was just me, Ripper, and the wife talking about just general stuff. We were just talking about how we met and all that kind of stuff. And when I said we met on an online dating app, it was like, Ripper was like, oh wow, it was like, you don't expect it. It's one of those things. Everyone always asks, oh, where did you meet? And we want some romanticized story, but really it was just a dating app thing. And but at least it worked. It doesn't work for many people, that kind of thing. But we got lucky. So it was great. He was really accommodating, and I even did an interview with him. He was so accommodating that he did a little interview after the show. He was just having a beer and stuff, and I said, oh, do you think we could just do a minute for Metal Stream Radio? And he was all for that, which is great. I think he understands the importance of radio stations like this, and the importance of keeping the heavy metal alive. Radio's always been a big thing for helping heavy metal, but not all stations want to play the heavy metal, but we're all about that, and that's something I'm really proud of being a part of on here. So I'll play you a little bit of my interview here with Tim Ripper Owens.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
So, I'm here with Tim. Just had an amazing show out here in Cancun, and I saw him last time in Birmingham with KK's Priest, but he's rocking it now in Mexico. And you got a few more dates, haven't you? But this is McCarthy's in Cancun. It was an amazing show. How was it for you?
It was good. It was the first show, and the band's great, and it's we got about a month-long tour here coming up, so it was really good.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant, and you had a few nice surprises. I won't give it away, but there's some really good tracks.
It's a good set list. It's a fun set list. Some old Priest classics, some KK's Priest, and some of my era Priest. It's good. It's a good fun set.
Definitely. And what's it? Are there any plans in the future with KK's Priest? Anything you got?
We got some things in the works. We'll see what happens. We'll probably release something soon. What's going to happen? But I'm in contact with Ken all the time, and so hopefully we'll have something coming out.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be good.
And anything after? So you're doing Mexico right now. You got a few more days. Anything after that?
Yeah, I go home for a little bit, and then I go to Europe for about 2 months almost, is forever, and then South America, and I'm on the road nonstop.
Nice. Well, make sure you get a ticket there. You're announcing it all on your pages.
It's good. It's good. Yeah, check it out. Check out all my pages.
Yeah, check it out. And this is for Metal Stream Radio. So thank you, Tim, for coming on. It's a pleasure. We'll be playing lots of KK's Priest.
Look at my cigarette in my mouth.
That's all right. No smoking. Smoking's bad for you. I'd say do a scream off, but not with cigarettes. It'd dry out the throat. Yeah. But yeah, cheers, Tim. Thanks, man. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it, buddy. Cheers.
I'm on that razor edge. Razor edge, yes.
Rock on.
There is no stopping me. I'm on that razor edge. Dreaming of a new tomorrow. Open destiny. It's time to be set free. Gonna live my life like I'm somebody. Running fast and free. Fulfill my destiny. I'm on that open road. There is no stopping me. I'm on that razor edge.
And there we have it, Tim talking about KK's Priest. Little snippet there of some news that was coming, and the news has now been released that there is going to be more KK's Priest, an actual tour. I believe it's an American tour, and it's I think it's supporting Wasp, so that's going to be pretty insane. Be sure to get a ticket for that one. So that was exciting news. Ripper giving Metal Stream Radio a little bit of an exclusive there without giving too much away because it hadn't been released officially yet, but there we go. So yeah, great to have Tim on. Yeah, awesome. And at the end there you might have heard a little song. That was my song Razor Edge, where we're both singing on it, Ripper and myself. Some great vocals from Ripper, as you can hear. So yeah, that's a song to check out if you're cruising in your car somewhere. I think it's a good song just to put on full blast, and it's a kind of driving song kind of thing. Razor Edge, that's kind of the vibe I was going for, something you can stick on and crank the volume up and enjoy. So that was really cool. And yeah, on that note, we'll go back to the Judas Priest era of Ripper now with a bit of Jugulator, so you can get a good old taste of what he was doing with Priest back in the 90s. It's really cool, and he played this one live and it was insane. So here we go with a bit of Jugulator. Now, how cool is that? I mean, what a song. I think that should be one of Judas Priest's biggest hits, because that is just a killer song. You know, I know Rob is the voice of Judas Priest, but, you know, there's no denying they did some killer songs with Ripper, and that is definitely one of them. And I'll play you a song from the gig a little later, because I filmed a lot of it, as well as enjoying it. I don't like to film a whole show, but, you know, I filmed a few tracks, and, you know, because I like to put it out there on my channel, my YouTube channel, because it's Metal Matt, it's all about the metal, and, you know, I like to keep it fresh, you know. And yeah, so I'll play you a track actually from the gig in a bit, just to give you a taste of how he sounds live these days, because it's very cool. But yeah, talking to KK's Priest with supporting Wasp, I mean, that is going to be an incredible show. And you know, you can hear on Jugulator there, I can definitely hear KK's playing on that. You know, you can hear that nice whammy kind of thing going on. And yeah, it's very cool. And obviously, if you've listened to KK's Priest, which you should have by now, it's KK Downing of Judas Priest, his kind of offspring band, with the connection still to Priest, you know, because he is one of the priests, but he's doing kind of his own thing, and with Ripper, and it's really killer. It's really kind of in your face kind of heavy metal, really extreme kind of screaming stuff, and you know, probably better than these Judas Priest albums that Ripper was on. You know, this is really next level, in your face heavy metal. It's all great, you know, really great stuff. But talking of Wasp, let's play a Wasp song. The Rock Rolls On.
My hands on the wheel, my foot's
And there we go, a bit of Wasp. I mean, they're just a killer band as well. Fantastic. I love that voice. Blackie Lawless, very iconic character in heavy metal. And they're not a band I've ever listened to hugely, but I remember back in the day my dad showing me all these songs because he's a metalhead. And growing up, I grew up listening to Alice Cooper and all this stuff. And I always remember clearly some Wasp music video he showed me, and I think he was like something like a caveman or something, kind of in the desert or something with flames and something weird. I remember thinking, cool, his voice is really kind of weird, really different kind of voice. And yeah, I don't know what song that is because, like I say, I'm not kind of mega into Wasp. I don't know that much about them. I think I could be. They're very good. That song was great. So yeah, I'm glad KK's Priest are doing some shows. I think it's USA and Canada. I'm looking at it now. It hits off in El Cajun, CA, so that's California, I'm guessing. Los Angeles, Riverside, Phoenix, Santa Fe, Austin, Texas, Tulsa, is that Oklahoma? So we got Dallas. This is the 9th to the 10th. It kicks off. So yeah, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, September it kicks off. Which is cool, so that gives you something to see. And there's even more shows. Where did I stop? I think so there's Dallas, Texas, San Antonio, Austin, Texas, Clearwater, Florida, Daytona, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, Raleigh, New York City, Jim Thorpe, PA, Portland, Boston, Hampton, Wallingford, New York, New Jersey, Montreal, so it goes on to Canada, and yeah, there's a whole load of Canada dates, including Cleveland, Green Bay, Edmonton, San Jose, California, Las Vegas. So they kind of go to and from by the looks of it, and then it all finishes up in Anaheim, CA. So yeah, check out all those dates. There's more that I didn't mention, but yeah, it gives you a taste of where you can see Wasp and KK's Priest. I mean, that's going to be insane. Great to see KK's Priest doing some really cool shows, some good kind of associated bands of the classic heavy metal. KK, of course, keeping the heavy metal alive like he does. He's the real deal. That's what I love about KK. I've met him, obviously. I've interviewed him. He's a good friend of mine at this point. He knows all about my wife and me out here in Mexico. He always says whenever I mention things about out here, he's always like very happy about it. He's like, oh, that's good, like he's trying to think of the things we've said, but he's always kind of saying, it's the good life kind of thing whenever I say about being out here, which is cool. Yeah, I haven't talked to him for a while, but you never know, he might come on the Metal Stream Radio for an interview at some point. You don't never know. I've had him on before for my YouTube channel, Metal Matt, back in 2018, I think. I went up to Wolverhampton and interviewed him, and ever since then we stayed in touch. That's why we went for a drink after the KK's Priest show and stuff. We've always stayed in touch. He's a real genuine, down-to-earth guy, and I don't kind of do the whole starstruck thing, it's like a friend at this point, and but back in the day, he's my guitar hero. He still is. I love his playing, but I find most of these people, you just want to get to know him on a real level and be genuine with people, and that's what it's all about. I think they appreciate that as well. The whole fanboy thing isn't going to get you very far. You got to, and being a musician myself, you get to know what the musician life is like, and really, I think most of us like the normality away from that as well. And yeah, it's nice to get friendly with some of these people and that I've admired, and realize that the never meet your heroes saying isn't really true. I've met most of my heroes, and they've all been pretty damn good, and KK's definitely no exception. He's a really genuine, cool guy, and very talented. So yeah, great dates there. I hope KK's Priest will make their way to Mexico. I'd love to see them here. So yeah, I'll have to keep my eyes peeled for that. But for now, if you're listening from America or Canada, there you go. You got KK's Priest heading your way very soon. So that's very cool. And we're going to play a little bit of KK's Priest in a second. But I thought I'd give you a taste of Jugulator. Jugulator. Desecrator. You may remember that just from a few moments ago. But I'm going to play you the live version of it because that's really rad. And it was at the show we went to in Cancun. I filmed it. And I just thought I'd give you a taste of what Ripper's doing right now out here in Mexico, because it's really, really cool. So before this motorbike engine that you might hear in the background gets any louder, I'll play it now for you. So this is Jugulator, but live with Ripper Owens and his Mexican band. Enjoy. there you go. You might hear me screaming there at the end. Ah! Well, there you go. I was impressed. And yeah, I think everyone else with it. You can hear he's still got that killer voice. Amazing high notes. Still got it. Totally got it. If not better these days, you know, he's really honed in on his craft, and it's yeah, he sings amazingly, you know. So yeah, there's a bit of live jugulator from McCarthy's Cancun, and yeah, I had a great time. True heavy metal, and his set list was great. There was a lot of Judas Priest from his era and some other stuff, you know, the Rob Halford stuff as well. And there was even a Black Sabbath Dio song thrown in there at the end, which was awesome. Great to hear that. So yeah, all the classic true heavy metal kind of thing. I was chatting with him before the show, saying, you know, the annoying thing I find out here in Cancun is everyone likes, they never seem to care much for Judas Priest whenever I mention it. It's more like Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses, the American sort of hair metal-y type stuff is what everyone seems to like and play all the time. And I'm always like, come on, let's do some Judas Priest. But there's one band, Steel Center now, which do appreciate the heavy metal. He's the singer Alex. He's a guy who approached me on YouTube. I've been lucky to meet a lot of people like that who just kind of come to me via YouTube and things, leaving comments on my videos and stuff. And he saw I was singing Judas Priest out here, and I think he told me once his first thought was like, what? Someone singing Judas Priest in Cancun? That never happens, kind of thing. And yeah, he come across me on there, and he wanted to hear me sing, and this was like 3 years ago or something, because I'd done a few videos in Cancun singing and stuff. And then when I come back to Mexico, because I've had to go back and forth a little bit, though I've just got my permanent residency, so yeah, thank you, hold the applause. I'm very happy at last to have permanent residency. It's been a process, but yeah, that's great news, so I can be here all the time, kind of thing. But yeah, so that's good news. But I've stayed in touch with this guy, and he invited me to sing with his band Steel Sentinel, which are a heavy metal band out here in Cancun, and they were kind of quite big. I think 10 years ago or something. They did a tour around Mexico, Mexico City and different places, and yeah, they're quite known kind of to be the kind of real classic heavy metal kind of stuff. And they're doing some more stuff now. They were just shooting a music video the other day. They got this awesome song, and he invited me along to watch them record the video and different things. And yeah, like I said, I sang with them. I did Diamonds and Rust by Judas Priest, and one of their songs, Louder Than Thunder. Like, I can't remember when it was, maybe a year ago, maybe more. It was at a place called Cerveceria Leon, something like that. Out here in Cancun, it's kind of a heavy metal bar. And yeah, they kind of did a bit of a reunion gig there for the fans to see them, because it's been a long time since they'd played together. And yeah, they were nice enough to invite me to sing a couple of songs, because they like my classic heavy metal singing as well, you know. And it's good to have, you know, people who are into that stuff. And I recently got in the studio to record an old song of mine, quite spontaneously. I asked Alex if he knows a good studio I can just go and record a little something, because I have this old song which I always played. I started off acoustic when I started doing music, and there's this song, You Know That I'm Here, which is kind of like an acoustic rock kind of song. It's got a bit of a psychedelic vibe as well when I perform it live, and I performed it in a lot of ways with like bands and like house bands all in England. I'd sort of go to open mic nights and just always play this song, and people would join in and different things, and I'd play it with the house band, like I say, of certain venues. And it was really cool, you know. They kind of all enjoyed it. The audience always enjoyed it, and being an original song, that was quite fun, that people could get into it, because that's kind of rare. People want to hear covers a lot of the time and stuff, but yeah, anytime I played this song, people always liked it, because it's got quite a lot of elements to it. It's kind of an interesting song. It's got some high notes in there, and it's a song that I just sort of see as an old song now, and I kind of like, I've done so much other stuff where I've collaborated with people and done the full heavy metal thing, you know. I collaborate with a guy called Carmine and a girl called Sophia out in the States, kind of virtually. They send over tracks, and I ask them to make tracks and different things, and we collaborate like that. And we've made some really good heavy metal, you know. Burn the Priest I've done with Carmine, and Sophia we've done Web of Lies, Cyber War, a good few tracks. And we're always experimenting, but I kind of wanted to go back to my acoustic roots and just get in the studio and play this You Know That I'm Here song in the studio, get a good recording of it, because I never really had a proper studio recording. I kept it live. I did a live kind of version, because I wanted to keep that kind of, it was always a live song, you know, it was a song made for being live really, but it's done in the studio, so it's like a studio live session, so it's good quality, you know, and the guy's producing it at the moment. And I thought what would be cool is to have a bit of Mexican-British fusion, because we all love our heavy metal, and I got Alex, the singer of Steel Sentinel, to do some guest vocals on the song, some kind of a backing vocal type things, and the producer was showing us a few little things he's going to do with it, and it sounds really cool, and we went through it a little bit, and it was really fun. Yeah, we went in the studio just for a couple of hours. I think it was an hour and a half actually, and yeah, I felt a bit under pressure because it's like I'm not used to playing a guitar as much these days. I prefer just singing. I can put my all into my singing, but when I'm playing guitar as well, you kind of got to find a happy balance, you know. You can't always put your absolute all into the singing because you're kind of playing chords as well, but because I'm so used to playing this song as one of my old classic kind of songs, I thought, yeah, let's just revive it here in Mexico with a special guest from Steel Sentinel, and I thought that'd be a neat idea, and that's what I've done, and that is coming soon, so keep your eyes peeled on all my platforms because it'll be out soon for you to download or stream or whatever. But also a video, I've done a video. Alex was filming and I filmed him, and I'm going to edit it all together, have a really nice video to go with it. I'm just waiting to receive the final mix, and hopefully it's going to be spot on. Otherwise we're going back and forth a little bit because I want to make sure it's perfect, and then it will be released for you all to enjoy. So yeah, look out for that. You know that I'm here. New version coming soon. It's going to be a bit different to the original, but still pretty similar, pretty close. But the kind of backing vocal thing and having Alex on it adds a whole other element, which is really nice. He's got a fantastic voice. I hear a bit of Freddie Mercury influence in him, but he's very original as well. You know, he's got this kind of diverse vocal range and very soulful kind of sound to his singing. I think with Steel Sentinel, he was kind of like me. He was screaming a lot with that band, and now he's kind of he sings a lot at hotels and things, and I think he's adapted his voice to a more soulful. He likes a lot of the bluesy stuff, but he's still got that rock, heavy metal kind of edge, and he's kind of sings a bit more, I guess, soulful, a bit deeper kind of voice now, but so much feeling, so much sound to his voice, you know, so much great sound within his voice, you know, like the texture. You'll know what I mean when you hear it. But yeah, fantastic vocalist. I'm really glad we've been able to collaborate, you know. And he wants to do more. He's like, this won't be the last. We've got to do more, because he really wants to get me on a song with Steel Sentinel, like a heavy song, which I'm all for. It'd be good fun, you know. Definitely up for that. But I'm glad this song, although it's acoustic, it's got a very rock kind of edge to it. And that's what it's all about, you know. I think metal is kind of diverse, you know, and I'm Metal Matt, and I can do acoustic, I can do, you know, heavy stuff, and I think that's okay. I think some people are like, oh, you got to keep it heavy all the time, but some of the best songs are a bit more kind of ballad-like Beyond the Realms of Death by Judas Priest, beautiful song. Ozzy Osbourne did a lot of ballady type songs like Dreamer, and it's still beautiful songs, and it's good to let heavy metal have that kind of diversity, I think, because it's showing that we are an intelligent kind of music. We're not just hammering out the guitars like punk music or whatever. You know, heavy metal, I think, is allowed to have that kind of balance, you know, and you know, Metallica have done songs, Nothing Else Matters and things like that, which is very, you know, beautiful ballad vibe, but with that rock edge, and you know that I'm here, it's definitely got that rock edge as well. And yeah, it's super exciting, so I can't wait to drop that. It's going to be really fun, so look out for that. You know that I'm here, coming soon. And yeah, for now, I'm wrapping up this hour, but we got another hour, don't you worry, guys. But I'm going to wrap up this hour with a little bit of KK's Priest, because we've done a lot of talking about KK's Priest, but we haven't played any yet. I've played you some Judas Priest Ripper era and some live Ripper Owens the other day in Cancun, but now KK's Priest, and this is a great song, and I think this is like one of the first songs they released, if I remember correctly, when KK was kind of showing this new band. What is this new band KK's done? KK's Priest. It's got the KK, it's got the priest. It must be a bit priesty, and it certainly is. So I remember hearing this for the first time and thinking, damn, that is a song, you know. That is just a fantastic song. So take a listen to this. Hellfire Thunderbolt. we have it, a Hellfire Thunderbolt. Very, very cool song. Got that priesty kind of feel, but very original too, and so much great shredding by KK. And obviously Ripper screaming away. Great band. You've got Sean Elg on drums. You've got AJ Mills on second guitar. KK on the main guitar, of course. You've got Tony Newton on bass. Yeah, really killer band. And yeah, they're just destroying it. I can't wait to see what they do with Wasp. That's going to be really fun. So yeah, and talking of that song Hellfire Thunderbolt, I was thinking back, and when I interviewed Mantas of Venom, he was very inspired by KK. You may even remember him with his blonde hair and his little mustache and things. Back in the day, he had that kind of KK kind of look about him, and you could see KK was an influence. And he said himself, KK down in one of his biggest kind of influences. Well, I asked him what he thought of KK's Priest new song when it came out, Hellfire Thunderbolt. And this is what he had to say, so take a listen to this. Have you heard the new KK's Priest track?
Yes.
Hellfire Thunderbolt. Just wondered if you had any thoughts on that.
To be perfectly honest, it's exactly what I expected.
Awesome, yeah.
Exactly what I expected. Let's put it this way, it's fulfilled the expectations.
Yeah, definitely.
He hasn't sort of veered away from what he is.
No, not at all. No.
That is quite evident even by the opening of the video where he's there, doing all the whammy bar stuff. Yeah. It's like, so it's exactly what I thought it was going to be,
Yeah.
And it's just a classic rock stroke metal track.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah, I thought you'd have something to say about it. I was really pleasantly impressed. Like you say, I thought it's gonna be just full on metal, really, when it comes to KK and that kind of style. It's gonna be you know what you're gonna get. So yeah. And there we have it. There's KK there. KK's Priest, Hellfire Thunderbolt, but Mantas from Venom talking about it. Really, really cool. Cool to hear what he has to say about it there. And like he says, it's KK kind of keeping true to what he's all about. That's the best thing, really, keeping true. I think that's what you kind of want from these icons, these iconic rock stars, guitar players. It's nice to hear them do what they're good at. Why do something different when that is your thing, And I think any Priest fans would want to hear him kind of doing that kind of style. And yeah, I think he's nailing it. And as Mantas said there, it's really, really cool stuff. And it fulfills the expectations, I think that's a great way of saying it. It's there's nothing lacking there. You've got KK's crazy off the wall playing, and that's what I've always loved about KK, how much he kind of feels the music. To me, that's a real guitar player. I'm not into this twiddly kind of stuff that's just like scales and all that kind of stuff. He actually feels it. It's wild, it's crazy, and it's heavy metal. I couldn't think of a more heavy metal player. He's like the Hendrix of heavy metal kind of thing. He has that feeling, he has that soul. And he also has his own kind of style, his own unique style. And with the twin duo of Glenn and KK and Priest, you can see why that works so well. And now with AJ and KK's Priest, AJ and KK, they've also got that great dynamic. And yeah, I think KK's great because he can work with other guitar players and really come up with something cool. But he's also got his own really unique kind of sound, and he knows how to put his own stamp on something. You just know it's him. I think the greats, the great guitar players, it's them when you hear their sound. People like Kane Roberts, Satchel of Steel Panther, they spring to mind as soon as you hear their kind of guitar sound. And even Mantas of Venom, what a unique guitar sound he's got. I love his playing, and it's Venom. When you hear his guitar sound, it's Mantas. It's like, wow, that's the true Venom sound. That great kind of, I don't know, it's just a completely unique sound you haven't heard before. And when I've talked with Mantas, he always says his solos, he's got to add to the song. He's not into kind of the noodly playing where you're showing off either. It's got to complement the song. A good guitar player will complement the song, not do something off the wall that doesn't fit in, And KK, the good thing with him, he kind of embrace the music, it become a part of him. He can just kind of lose himself. It's a really, just watching him do it live, it's like he really just loses himself in the music, and he feels every note, and there's elements of improvisation and kind of just off the wall kind of stuff, but very in keeping to the songs, and yeah, he really knows how to put his stamp on things. So yeah, KK Downing, one of the greats, and I'm loving that he's doing all this cool stuff. So we're going into the second hour now. We're going to play a load more heavy metal and a lot more different stuff now. That was just the first hour, just dedicated to Tim Ripper Owens. It's the Ripper special, really. Ripper KK Gunner special, celebrating his era and telling you, you know, my latest stories of meeting him and chatting with him and seeing him out here in Cancun. It was really great. So be sure to grab a ticket if there's any more dates. It was a couple of weeks ago now, but I know he's got a lot more shows to come, as you heard on our interview earlier. So yeah, grab yourself a ticket, and especially for KK and Wasp, that's going to be a really fun gig. So yeah, on to the second hour now. Let's start it. I'll see you all in the next hour, and I hope you keep listening, because it's going to be pretty damn cool. Some more surprises coming. So see you there.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.